All right, welcome. Today, we are breaking down a really powerful tool for any entrepreneur in India, the Limited Liability Partnership, or LLP. And we're going straight to the source. We're going to dive into the official LLP Act of 2008 to see what this thing is all about, how it works, and most importantly, what it can mean for you.
You know, for the longest time, if you were starting a business in India, you had this tough choice. Do you go with a simple, flexible partnership, but risk your personal assets if things go wrong? Or do you pick the safer company structure, but then you're stuck with a ton of complex paperwork? Well, this explainer is all about the business structure that was designed to give you the best of both worlds.
So, what exactly is an LLP? Well, when the Limited Liability Partnership Act came out in 2008, it really was a game changer. At its heart, it's a hybrid, a totally new kind of business entity.
Okay, the most important thing to get from this is that an LLP is its own legal person. Seriously. Just like a big company, it exists completely separate from its owners, the partners. This means the LLP itself can own property, it can sign contracts, and it can even sue or be sued all in its own name. And that phrase, perpetual succession, it's just a fancy way of saying the business doesn't just stop if a partner leaves or passes away. It's built to last.
This chart right here shows you the real magic trick: partner liability. I mean, this is the reason the LLP was created. It was specifically designed to fix the single biggest fear of a traditional partnership, that unlimited liability, where a business debt could literally wipe out your personal savings. The LLP builds a protective wall around your personal assets. Okay, so you're sold on the idea. How do you actually get one of these things up and running? Well, let's think of it like building a house. Starting an LLP is like drawing up the official blueprint and getting all the permits from the city. The whole process is actually meant to be pretty straightforward. The law lays out these 4 key steps to bring your LLP to life. First, you get your team together. Then, you pick a unique name for your business. After that, you file the main paperwork, the blueprint, that spells out what your business is all about. And finally, you get that official certificate, and boom, you're in business.
So, what's the deal with these designated partners? They have a really specific and critical job. While every partner is important, the law points to the designated partners as the ones who are legally on the hook for making sure all the rules are followed, all the forms are filed, and all the T's are crossed. Yep, think of them as the official compliance officers.
So your house is built. Now you got to maintain it, right? Your LLP is now a living, breathing, legal thing. And the Act is very clear about a few things you have to do every single year to keep your house in order and make sure everything is transparent.
The law boils it down to 3 main financial duties you have to take care of every year. You've got to keep good, clean books. You have to prepare a formal statement of account insolvency, which is basically you telling the world, hey, we're financially healthy. And you have to file an annual return to keep the government in the loop. It's all about transparency and accountability.
And now we get to it. The single biggest reason people choose this structure. Think of it as a solid, protective firewall between your business life and your personal life.
This right here, this is the golden promise of the LLP, written right into the law. This one sentence is everything. It means that if the business racks up debt or gets into legal trouble, creditors can only touch the LLP's assets. Your personal stuff, your home, your car, your savings, is safely on the other side of that firewall.
Okay, but, and this is a really big but, that protection is not invincible. That firewall has a weak spot. And the law is crystal clear about what can tear it down. There's one critical exception you absolutely have to know about. And there it is, fraud. That firewall just vanishes if there's any fraud involved. The law does not play around with this. If you or your LLP intentionally try to deceive or defraud anyone, you lose your protection. That limited liability shield is a privilege for doing honest business, not a get-out-of-jail-free card for bad behavior.
Look, businesses are never static, right? They grow, they change, they adapt. And the LLP structure is actually designed to be flexible and evolve with you throughout your whole entrepreneurial journey, from the very beginning to the very end. This timeline really paints the picture of just how flexible an LLP can be. The law doesn't just let you start one from scratch. It gives clear paths for existing businesses to become an LLP. It can handle big moves like mergers, and it even has a clear process for when it's time to close up shop. It covers the whole life cycle. 3. So what's that about? Well, that's the number of existing business types that the LLP Act specifically says can convert into a limited liability partnership. You've got your traditional partnership firms, private limited companies, and even unlisted public companies. They can all make the switch over to the LLP structure.
So there you have it, a look at the core building blocks of India's Limited Liability Partnership Act. It offers this incredible blend of protection from liability with the flexibility of a partnership. It's got structure, but it's not rigid. At the end of the day, the real question, the one only you can answer, is whether this particular blueprint is the right one for the business you want to build.